Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending from where you're watching from. This is the eSailing World Championship Knockout 5. This is Oscar, your host, and with me tonight is Alberto Carraro. Alberto, how are you doing?
Hi, Oscar. I'm doing great. I'm really excited to see who is going to win this knockout 5, who is going to qualify to the semifinals, because it's the second to last opportunity for them to qualify.
Exactly, and we should have about 40 sailors lining up on the start line tonight. We only have 2 left, as you said, so 6 spots left from the knockouts to get into the semifinals. The rest will go to the playoffs. It's going to be 8 races in total, 4 races with all the players, and then we're going to go in a Gulf fleet for the last 3 races. First race up is with the J70.
As you can see, all the people are on the line, 3 seconds to go, and a great start from Jozuk on the right hand side, a little bit forced to tack Mendes and BBN and Viper. Really starting in a good position on the right hand side with a massive left wing shift they have at the moment and the right wing shift coming. They're probably going to take the lead soon. What do you think about the massive right wing shift that will be coming, and after that there will be another left wing shift coming, so it's important to stay in the middle for this kind of race, and I believe BBM Viper is the best candidate for that position. What do you think?
I kind of agree with this. I think Josuts is slightly ahead of everyone, so that can also benefit. But yeah, they're going to have to read the shifts correctly. It's a bigger fleet, so they have to be careful with all the other boats as well. It's not going to be the usual 12 boats that they are sailing against in the Blue Series for the public challenges. And quickly looking at the chat, Danelaw in the chat, evening all. Nice to see you there, hope you're doing well. And Schlegger, who's already qualified, I believe, showing the support as well.
Amazing to see that people from all over the world, Schlegger from the US, I believe I heard some other names from Europe, so as you can understand, already a lot of time zones here. We have player from Japan, we have player from Cuba, we have a player from all over the world. This is a real world championship.
Exactly.
People
and
from
for
Brazil.
some of them, it's going to be very early in the morning. For others, it's going to be very late at night. And
for some will be a vacation, for someone will be a work
exactly.
day. Being crazy these times.
Maybe we're going to focus on the right-hand side of the fleet right here, following Jozux, who's going to reach the ley line in a few meters. We have Searching from Brazil and Charizard, the Italian, already, who passed it. And
what do you think about FIV Rock over there? FIV Rock seems is the blue one, the light blue one, trying to catch up with the massive left wing shift. Seems he is crossing in front of the big puck, probably fighting with the Japanese over here.
It's gonna be a close call with the Taxi. I think he has
the Taxi, yeah. And as you can see, if the right wing shift is continuing to go in, he will be in the lead with Carlos Parejo over there. Really close, but seems FIV Rock has called the right ley line and he's just inside it, while Carlos Parejo needed to struggle a little bit more to reach the mark.
That was a brilliant move by FIV Rock, nicely read. Carlos is gonna have to slow down a bit. He doesn't get caught up yet. And by doing this actually allows FIV Rock to kind of sail away from the rest of the fleet. That's going to give him a 50-meter lead heading into this first downwind.
Really amazing maneuver from the Italian. I believe 2 times Italian champion, 1 time a finalist in the World eSailing World Championship. So someone that
in the
still have
Cup as well.
And winner of the eSailing Nations Cup as well. So a palmarès of really interesting palmarès. For FIV Rock, at the moment, Carlos Parejo in second position and Luisito in third.
And we've seen Tutexi, who was third just after Carlos, decided to go on the right-hand side of the course. He's alone on this side, I believe. Well, the boats going on the right are quite far behind. We'll see if that pays off in the long run.
At the moment, Taxi 14.2, FIV Rock 14.5, Carlos Parejo 14.3. Now it's time for Carlos to cover a little bit FIV Rock. Yes, exactly. But they're running the marks. Seems FIV Rock now is under Taxi Wind Shadow, so he's still losing a little bit. But still in the lead. First position for FIV Rock. Carlos Parejo in second position and Sims Tutexi in third.
Sounds about right. Schlegger today predicting a Carlos, Julifra, and Zemendes as qualified in the semi-final.
That is an interesting call. Zemendes already qualified for semi-finals, for playoff. I believe Carlos too, and the third one was, sorry?
Julifra.
Julifra.
Currently 14th in the
Even
league.
Julifra, I believe, is in the playoff.
A lot of them are actually indeed already in the playoffs. Obviously, we have 3 spots for the semi-final, but some of them we see for the first or second time only in the knockouts. That's the case for I'm trying to find the name of the boat for RX0 Unicorn over here.
Yeah, he's performing really well. He's in top 10 position. Seems Carlos Parejo at the moment lost a little bit with the right wing shift, while SV Gaia from Cuba is catching up really fast over there. With a massive right wing shift coming. He tuck a little bit too late. So probably Carlos Parejo and FIV Rock will benefit from that. As you can see, even Tutexi do not go to cover SV Gaia because the left wing shift will be so strong. They'll be just able to pass in front of them, even without that kind of thing.
And Danelaw is going to go with the old school prediction. Johannes, Vegas, and... who is that last person? I don't recognize that name. Who do you think? Let's start jinxing a bit. Pick 3 to qualify.
So Vegas is already 33rd in the first race. So even if you catch a couple of position, one big like this is a no-go for the semifinals. And because I believe last time with 8 races, the finalists will be like 40 or 50 points. So he have already 35 points in the first one. Will be
well, he can
kind
still
of
surprise
difficult to come back
if he arrives first in the rest of the fleet, in the rest of the races. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
and
still
Ding Ding is what Dudang was called by
pretty
all
tough.
commentators, all right. So Dudang was Danelaw's last choice. Currently 36.
Yeah, Vegas and Dudang are a little bit far behind in the first race. Having both of them coming back would be interesting. SV Gaia is actually performing really, really well.
And we're gonna see a split again. Tutexi deciding to stay on the right. FIV Rock stayed on the left, chased by Carlos Parejo. Right behind him, Carlos that we've seen in the grand final recently.
Yep. He's a former world champion, Carlos, so probably he will be fighting until the end of the race. What is interesting is actually SV Gaia over there in third, with Zemendes in fourth. Probably Zemendes will catch up on the Cuban sailor, but over here, as you can see, FIV Rock has do not have to jibe until the last minute. The massive right wing shift is helping him so much. He is going to go to the last ray line. Jibe over there will be covered, but will not be enough for Carlos to pass him. You see, even Carlos want to protect himself from behind. He understood he cannot beat FIV Rock in these last few meters of the race. And as you can see, the position will be FIV Rock in the lead, winning the first race. Second position for Carlos Parejo. Then together rival Ze Mendes and Esvigaya, with Ze Mendes taking the third, fourth for Esvigaya. Then Totexi, Luisito, and Josu. Yuko and an amazing Los Trio in 9th position.
Yep.
Charizard foiled in 10th, Charizard in 11th. Look here, look at the finish line for these 5 boats. With Arrow, RX Unicorn, Flame Boss, Vari, Julifra, Johannes Bansen, Cavan Fyan, Grenine, Searching, Keating, Trap Breast Power. And then we
some
have
other boats arriving at the pin end over there at the top of your screen. In this case for Krug, Yoko. Nozet is going to be there as well. Surprised to see Nozet there. Dudang still in 30 seconds, and Schlegger. But today I'm rooting for Green9, Esvigaya, Cavan, and Searching Go Panam players. Be nice to see more Panam players in the grand final as well, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can see, best start was from Carlos Parejo. That's why he was was in the top. You see, best average speed, best top speed. Doesn't matter because Charizard and Nowzet are. Charizard actually was 11th, but Nowzet was in the lower part of the fleet. But the shorter course, FIV Rock, that was what doesn't matter in this J70 boat.
Yep, and here we have the final ranking on your screen. A5E Rock arriving first. That's a great first race for him. Carlos Parejo arriving 3 seconds behind him. Zemendes in 3rd, Esvigaya in 4th, Otex in 5th. Luisito in 6th, Josuts in 7th, Yuko in 8th, Los Trio in 9th, Foiled 1 in 10th, Charizard in 11th, RX0 Unicorn in 12th with his teammate Flying Boss 13th, Very in 14th, Judy Pine 15th, Johannes 16, Cavan in 17, Green9 in 18, 19 for Searching, 20 from Ireland is Keaton with Breast Power, 21st, just arriving 2 seconds behind him. We're going to be focusing on the top 20 most of the time because the top 20 are the ones we're going to be going into or heading into the Golf Series after the first 5 races. With the bridge behind, starting procedure for race number 2 has been given.
And as you can see, everybody wants to start on the race committee part of the racing area. Massive right wing shift on the start, massive left wing shift coming soon after. A crazy move will be starting on starboard on the pin end, wait for the left wing shift, then tuck and try to cross all over the fleet. Now the wind is shifting back, is only 30 seconds to the start, but people are starting to regret the race committee start. And as you can see, they're spreading down all the line. Difficult wind condition at the moment.
I'm just going to go with another prediction from the chat. It's Type Coach Croatia. Nice to see you in there, predicting Carlos in 1st, Amanda's in 2nd, and Rock in 3rd for the 3 places in the semifinal. And it looks like we've had a couple of players who joined late during the first race, so were not able to race, but are now here. And I've seen the name, and I think Schlegger has as well. Former world champion, or current world champion, this is Farley, who is stuck on the starting line.
Yep.
So we're going to switch to Trap Oliver.
Trap Oliver doing an amazing start for this second race, but a massive left wing shift is going to happen. So I'm not sure if he can hold the position. On the tactical point of view, Krug is actually blocking the attack for everybody else, but he attacked a little bit too early, allow them to get some of the plays over there. But Team Yannick penalty for attacking too close to Vari. Actually, no, sorry, my bad, not to Vari, to SV Gaia, and losing a lot of position over there. As you can see with the left wing shift, a lot of the boats from the left hand side are catching up with, I believe, Trap Burst Power getting one of the best position in the fleet at the moment. I believe Krug is still in the lead because, as you can see, it's much closer to the mark. But if the winds stay like this for the foreseeable future, there will be some problem from the people from the right hand side. As you can see, the wind is still rotating to the left, allowing Trap Burst Power to be exactly on the lane line. Now it's rotating back to the right. After that, we'll be rotating back to the left.
It's going to be a very tricky wind for the players to navigate in.
Yeah. Let's see if Trap Burst Power can cross over this massive fleet. He can cross over the first Japan, but he doesn't want to risk it. And probably he's going to attack again. And an amazing Los Trio in 4th position at the moment. Is performing insanely well. Let's see if he can keep doing this good. The first race was 9th. Right now is the 2nd position. Another great performance for SV Gaia. Yuko, I believe, also was in the lead before. So really tough. What is going to happen at this rounding of the mark? Because it seems that the Italian is in the lead. Yuko have the opportunity to cross first. Let's see if he can get a penalty because he's coming on port. He's really close with Los Trio and no penalties there. No, so Yuko in 1st position, 2nd position for Los Trio, 3rd for SV Gaia.
And right behind them is going to be Burst Power that you mentioned earlier, who did a good line and a good tack, staying on the left side of the port. Yeah, and we see Zemendas in 5th. He was part of the predictions in the chat. As the fleet is starting their first downwind, and with the Ilka, it has a very narrow angle in the downwind, so it's going to be almost a straight line towards this gate with this current wind. Just going to avoid each other's wind shadows.
As you can see, Yuko is being covered a little bit. Los Trio is slightly faster, but a massive right wing shift is coming. Look at SV Gaia that is being covered soon enough from Trap Burst Power. He doesn't want to be covered, so he's going way over there. And they started SV Gaia 11.12 knots of boat speed. Trap Burst Power 12 knots also. Let's see if Yuko is catching up right now, or actually...
Looks like Los Trio is being caught up by Trap Burst Power, who is now putting him in his wind shadow, going almost 0.5 knots faster until Burst Power was getting slowed down as well by the wind shadow of the players behind, Zemendas being that player. Yuko started the second upwind first, and it's going to be a fight between him and Los Trio. Los Trio on the left, Yuko on the right, to see who has the actual first place.
Look at the running on the market right now. Will be a lot of penalties over there. In between 15 and 16 positions, like 10 boats arrive together with 20 knots of wind speed, 12 knots of boat speed, and the gates are not big enough for everybody to be in.
So some are going to have to take the penalties, and that was the case. We've seen the red symbol on their names in the rankings. as we're now following Carlos Parejo, 22nd in the middle of the fleet.
I can see a nice comeback from now that a nice place from Luisito, Jozouk, and FIV Rock, still again in top 10. Another amazing race for Los Trio, again in top 10. SV Gaia, though, is really impressed. I'm really impressed of the Cuban sailor. I believe his father went to the Olympics for 470. So.
Oh, that's an interesting fact.
This is an amazing race here we are following with the Ilka right now. Massive right wing shift coming up. As you can see, both Yuko and SV Guy attacking together. Let's see what Los Trio is going to do. Los Trio attacking safe on breast power. He doesn't want to challenge already with SV Gaia. Probably SV Gaia in second position at the moment. With Yuko have the possibility to run away. And look at the fleet behind. The fleet behind is, while these 3-4 sailors are fighting, the fleet behind see a massive attack of the Mendes in front of Krug, allowing now that to catch up the 6th position in front of the other Portuguese. And but now that Acosta at the moment is struggling a little bit to reach the mark.
Focusing back on Yuko right now, who's going to be rounding the second time the top mark into this into the last downwind. Los Trio is going to be third as Viga takes the second place. Breast Power is close behind in fourth. Let's switch back to Krug with the rest of the fleet over here. Mark rounding is going to be fairly easy for them, but after them, it's going to be the case for Luisito. There's going to be a lot of crossing. Boats on starboard tack are going to have priority over boats coming in on port, so watch out for the penalties.
So Los Trio and Trappers Power are not covering each other. They want to reach the second position. They do not want SV Gaia to go away. And the Cuban at the moment is stuck in between the Italian and the French, with the Italian actually trying to sneak up in second position.
We actually see Yuko, who has managed to put a 100-meter leads on the second, third, and fourth. And I believe it's going to be quite close at the end between SV Gaia and Los Trio mainly, and maybe Breast Power could benefit from that if they ever start attacking each other.
Yeah, it's interesting now because I believe Los Trio is happy with the third position. And probably SV Gaia want to fight again.
And we see that happening.
With the French. Oh, now it's super interesting because they're really close to the finishing line. They all should jibe because it's closer going to on the other side. But Los Trio and Breast Power are almost tied in second position. Let's see who can get it, and I believe it's Los Trio.
Los Trio, Breast Power, SV Gaia. So Breast Power managed to take one spot from these players, as the rest of the fleet is closing in over here. Looks like Krug was in 9th. FIV Rock was behind 10th over here.
Yeah, with Luisito and Jozouk.
Yeah.
Another not impressive result for Vegas. 34th, 35th. So I believe after 2 races.
An unfortunate
Who
race
said
for
that
RX,
Vegas was going for? Yeah.
But Yuko in first, Los Trio in second, Breast Power in third, SV Gaia in fourth, Zemendes in fifth, Nozets in sixth, Foiled 1 in seventh, Julie Klein 8th, Krug in 9th, Stefan Gazin 10th, FIV Rock in 11th, Cianes Luisito 1948 in 12th, Josuts in 13th, VSP Almir 44 in 14th, Very 79 in 15th, Tomjanek in 16th, Tursinovic and 450 in 17th. That was 3 Polish sailors arriving more or less at the same time, within slightly more than a second difference. Japan 95 and 18th, Keating in 19th and 24th. Carlos Parejo with Oliver just a 0.2 of a second behind. So in the overall leaderboard, we have Zemendes leading the fleet with 8 points, tied with SV Gaia with 8 points as well. SV Gaia doing the double 4th, Zemendes doing 3 and 5th. Funyuko in 3rd with 9 points, 8 and 1st. Lostro in 4th with 11 points. Rocco Guerra in 5th with 12 points, 17 points for Fold 1 in 6th. Sienas Luisito, Josuts, Carlos Parejo, 3 of the Spanish boats are 7th, 8th, and 9 with 18, 20, and 22 points respectively. Gilifra 23 points and 10. Press Power in 11th with 24 points. Very 29 points in 12th. Stefan Gazan 36 points, tied with Charizard for 13th and 14th. Nozada Costa tied with Rug with 37 points for 15 and 16. Totexi with 38 points and 17. Cabin Fine with in 18th with 39 points, tied with the Irish Keating, and Petursinovic from Poland 20th with 41 points. Just 20 seconds to go for the next race in the 49ers, so it's going to be a fast race.
Yeah, 49 was one of my favorite. As you already know, if you already watched our previous stream, because it's a boat that accelerates when the wind pick up. Not only in the downwind, like 90% of the boat, also upwind, and that's actually something that is really interesting on that part, because that one will allow you to do not focus only on the wind shift, but also focus on the path of the wind. So even if you're going to the wrong shift, going in a nice path could help you massively in that way.
Yep. Indeed. And well, it looks like we're seeing Zemendes, who is currently leading the fleet. Gaia as well is one of the names that you mentioned. So they're starting very strong. We see the 20th player with 41 points already. So we'll see how this third race is going to shake things up.
Yep. "40 seconds to the race. Most of the people are on the starboard point. Let's see what's going to happen. 4, 3, 2, 1, go." Seems a pretty nice start from the right-hand side, with, I believe, Josu in a really nice position over here.
You said Josu's in a nice position. Let's check him out. Crossing path with Very is going to have to bear away.
Yeah.
To avoid the penalty.
He has the opportunity to cross in front of everybody else because he is with the right of way. Penalty for Almir at the moment because tacking too close to Cavan Fiance. He's really close with Johannes Pansen, and finally Vegas is coming back to a nice race at the moment. From the one we should follow, we have FIV Rock in 27th position, really in the middle of the dirty air over there. Really difficult to come back from that kind of situation. Also, Zemendes, I do not see him in the top part. Oh, Zemendes 29th. So with all I believe between all of them, the one that is performing the best is Lustrio and SV Gaia. Because Yuko is behind, Zemendes is behind, FAB Rock is behind. Difficult situation for them. As you can see, Juzuk is going at 11.5, while Vari on the right hand side, in the right part of the path, is going only at 10.5. So as you can see, he's benefiting from the path going 1 knot faster and crossing all over the fleet. Second position, a nice comeback from Yoko from Sweden. And third position for an incredible Vari that actually catch up the wind. He's going really fast. Yoko tucked really close. Juzuk tucked really close. Probably is going to get the second position from Yoko, depending how well Yoko is performing. Yoko performing really well. Vari going a little bit higher to hoist the kite. And penalty for Vari for going too fast and hit Yoko on the stern.
That's unfortunate because that's going to slow him down for 10 seconds, and that actually allows Luisito and maybe even Gaia to pass in front of him. And well, Gaia doing a great final so far. He arrived fourth and fourth in the first 2 races. He's currently not too far from finishing fourth again in this race.
Yep.
Though this is the first downwind still, so they still have 1 upwind and then another downwind to go. Yoko
another
is
one to
alone
mention is
yeah, no, go for it. Who should we follow?
is Lustrio in 8th position. That is also not that far, as SV Gaia have 8 points. Lustrio has 11, so that'll be interesting over there.
Zemendes, meanwhile, who is leading the overall ranking, is in 27th, so this is going to hurt him a bit. That might
I believe a little bit more than a bit.
It's going to knock him down, not out of the top 20, but it's going to knock him down in around 15th or something like that, probably.
Yeah, especially when you're pushing too much for qualifying, as Zemendes already qualified for the playoff. That will be a tough situation to sort out.
Yep, we might see some risky decisions that he takes during this race, because being already qualified in the playoffs, you obviously want to be qualified for the semi-final, and if you can shortcut by avoiding the playoffs, then they likely will try to do it. Meanwhile, Josut still in first, Yoko still in second, but close with Luisito. Kevin finds in fourth.
Yeah, I believe Juzuk with this second race is going to get really, really well. He already is in 8th position with 20 points. A victory bringing only to 21 means that he's going to be in the top part of the leaderboard. Kevin at the moment is 18th with 39 points, so
yeah,
really,
tied
really
with
difficult situation for him.
tied with Keating, who I think I saw around 30th just a second ago, 33rd. He's gonna break the tie with Keating for sure.
Seems the whole fleet is going to want to take the right wing shift that is coming right now, but
Yep.
only few of them can take it without being covered from the one in front of them.
Just gonna reply
And,
to
let's-
Farley in the chat. Needs only top 20 to qualify, so it's going to be the top 20 of these who head over to the gold races of the gold series, where we do another 3 races, and then after these 3 races, the top 3 go to the semi-final, and 4th to 10th go to the playoffs.
Yep.
Tonight, yes. Also, we didn't mention them at the beginning of the stream, but quickly want to shout out those who are working behind the scenes, who you won't hear the voices from, but that's Giovanni doing the principal race officer role. So he's managing the fleets, giving the starts, asking the players to join and all of that stuff. Lorenzo is going to be doing the scoring, and the Guler is going to be Omer. He's going to be the one taking the screenshots of the score and helping out with the race management as well. Quick shout out to them.
Thank you for all of them.
And thank you. Yep. Meanwhile, not much has changed in the top 5 over here. Josut still leading, Yoko still second, CNS Luisito still in third, Cavan still in fourth. No discards at all, Farley. It's going to be 8 races back to back. Top 20 go into the Gold Series, top 3 go to the semifinals, and 4th to 10 go into the playoffs.
It'd be interesting to know what happened to Arthur here.
Looks like
He's tried to connect to the first 3 races and it never happened to.
Looks like his connection is too
not
bad
really well
where he is.
So the top
well, it might
4
be-
actually managed to catch a puff and going at 23 knots, while Johannes Bansen just missed it for a blink of an eye and is going only 16 knots. Poor Johannes.
That is a huge difference. There is another puff on the left, which I think he's going to try to catch. It could be a close finish between, I was going to say between Yoko and Luisito, but I think Yoko is actually too far ahead of Luisito.
Yeah.
I don't think the order
There
in the
is
top
a
4 is gonna change.
Cavan is pushing really hard on Luisito, try to catch the 3rd position. But while one position is always important, we need always to remember that the most important thing is not to do too many points at this part of the stage. So by finishing the top 4, you already did an amazing result. So congratulations to Yozuk, Yoko, and Luisito and Cavan Fine to be in the top 4.
What about Johannes? He is still clear in 5th. I don't see anyone catching up on him
Yeah,
at
that's
this
true.
distance from the finish line. Behind him is going to be Very, who I think is going to be pretty safe with his 6th spot as well. Gaia still doing an amazing job in 7th. He missed the 4th spot for this race, but 8th or 7th is still a great place to be in. And that actually might give him the lead in the overall rankings.
Yeah, that's a huge possibility. He's going 20 points. Jozuka going 21, so... Sorry. No, Gaia going at 16 points. With this 8th, actually 7th position. I believe.
Gaia is, looks like Gaia 7th. We'll have to look at the tiebreak between Gaia and Breast Power because they're arriving during the same second, looks like.
Yeah, but the Gaia 46.7, Trappers Power 47.3.
Like we had a bit of a fight
Still
between Carlos and the Japanese unicorn over here. That's going to push Carlos back to 27th. 26th. Keaton is going to take 34th. Saban Viper 35th. And there we have the ranking for race number 3. Top 20 are Josuts, Yoko, Luisito, Cavan Fiance in the top 4, Johannes in 5th, Barry in 6th. Just want to see the difference between the top 4 and the rest of the fleet. There is a more than 20-second difference between 4th and 5th. And then 7 seconds difference between 5th and 6th. SV Gaia in 7th, Breast Power in 8th. They arrived with, very close. That's a 6/10 of a second. 6/10 of a second, sorry. Difference between the two of them. Vegas in 9. 10 for Yuko, Nozet in 11, Lostrio in 12, Flying Boss in 13, Deemsui in 14, Totaxi in 15, Searching in 16, Japan 985 in 17, the Italian Charizard in 18, Julifra in 19, BSB Almir 44 in 20, and 21st is Oliver again, less than a second behind him. Is updating, but SV Gaia, as we predicted, now takes the lead with 15 points. Yuko in second with 19 points. Then we have a two-way tie between Josuts and Luis. 1948 for 3rd and 4th at 21 points. 23 points for Lostrio in 5th. Breast Power 32 points in 6th. Zemendes drops down to 7th with 35 points, tied with Very in 8th. Foiled takes the 9th place with 41 points, 42 points virtually fine 10th. FIV Rock in 11th with 43 points, tied with Cavan. Carlos Parejo is tied with Nozet at 48 points for 13th at 14th, 49 points for Johannes Bansen to Texi in 53 at 53 points for 16th. Charizard 54 points in 17th. Flying Boss is 18th with 56 points, 19th for Japan 95 58 points. And Yoko closes the top 20 with 59 points. As the start procedure has been given for race number 4 in the Knockout 17.
So do people are changing their lineup for the semifinalists now that we are on race number 3, or they're still sticking with that?
I think that's an interesting question to ask. Your updated
in the meantime,
top
20.
3.
Yeah. Go.
I was asking the chat what's their updated top 3.
Okay. With 10 seconds to go and a really busy race committee start. 3, 2, 1, and go. Juzuk penalty 12, SV Gaia penalty 11. At the moment, Los Trio seems catching up. No, it's Charizard, sorry. Catching up really fast with Yuko on the left hand side going super fast. Yoko, another amazing race. Los Trio at the moment in 6th, guys. FIV Rock in 7th. We have Zemendes in 19, Jozuk in 21st, 23rd for SV Gaia. Not a great start for the one who were trying to catch up the semi-final, except for Yuko. That's
which side of the course should we follow? Because we have 2 groups. We have one going on the right, the other going on the left.
I will stick on the right. Because I believe the one on the left are going really fast over there. And try to have a lucky shot. While the group on the right will try to stay safer in that way. Because at the moment there is a massive right wing shift. That's why Yuko is in the top position.
Probably is going to say that we should follow those on the middle right of the course.
Yep.
Going to be the case for Baba and Viper. Very. Very, who is in the top 10, 8th overall. Baba and Viper, I don't see him in the top 20. So a good race will definitely benefit him.
It's really tricky situation right now, as you can see. But I believe if Luisito can manage to keep that position over there, he will be definitely in the top part, but with a massive right wing shift coming back will make it everything more difficult. I believe Johannes Bansen, FIV Rock and Doding will try to tuck over there with BBM Viper, try to give a penalty, but he missed FIV Rock. FIV Rock force Vari to dial down and to avoid the penalty. And FIV Rock in first position at the moment, going much faster than Rizito, less room for him, less...
As unfortunately for Yuko, he touched the mark, is going to be penalized for 10 seconds. That is the same case for Very. Touching the mark, rule 31, going to be slowed down for 10 seconds as well.
At the moment is a strange situation for FIV Rock and Luisito. FIV Rock is on a massive buff, going 24 knots. Luisito, that at the moment is in the lead, going only 21 knots, is 3 knots difference. And as you can see, FIV Rock smashing Luisito from the other side of the racing area, with Luisito catching up on a path that is not going to bring him so much joy. And FIV Rock probably will be rounding the mark in the first position. He can decide which market round, and still keeping 1 knot faster than
Beban Viper might
all the
be
other.
able to take the lead on Luisito as well. This right side over here definitely benefited from that shift, and we've seen the difference. FIV Rock
Probably
with
also Johannes
150
Manson.
meters. Yeah, this whole right side is gonna benefit from that, and just like that, Jonas Luisito drops down to 5th.
Really nice call for the tactician over there, deciding to go on a puffier area that was difficult to catch, but in the moment they caught it, a bigger reward was given.
And we see Deemster staying on port tack over here, while the rest of the fleet decided to go on the left side of the course on starboard, which is where more wind pressure is. 22 knots of wind, but losing it for FIV Rock over here, going at 14 knots.
And this one will also mean another victory for FIV Rock if nothing changed over here. That means that consistency is more important than have victories. FIV Rock 2 victories, 111th, 131. Even with 2 victories in 2 races after only 4 races, he's still not in the top part of the leadership board.
Well, that'll put him at 44 points if he maintains his first spot. 44 points in total. Currently, that equals to 12th. Without the race updated. But first place has 15 points with SV Gaia. SV Gaia, where he's at? He's at 9th. So SV Gaia is sailing very consistently. 4th,
impressive.
7th, currently 9th. This is very impressive indeed from SV Gaia.
But look, Yuko, Lustrio 25-26. Another nice mix-up we'll see after race number 4.
We're gonna see
Seems SV Gaia is losing some points. Zemendes is gaining a little bit more back.
Well, Zemendes did a great start as well. He's currently 7th overall with 35 points. He arrived 3rd and 5th in the first 2 races, then 27th in the 3rd. So he's not in a bad spot overall.
No, absolutely not. I totally agree with you. Zemendes right now is trying to close up with Vari over there on the right hand side. He's trying to catch up a few positions to make sure he's being a top 10. Being the top 10 probably is going to bring me back to the top of the leaderboard. Because as you can see, exactly, also SV Gaia, that's going to lose 3-4 more positions.
And Zemendes managed to overtake Luisito.
And Luisito seems to have a problem with kites. It's the second time that he's been losing the position because of a kite. Before with FIV Rock, now with Zemendes, impressive skills of sailing skills for both FIV Rock and Zemendes. Luisito is compensating the lack of those skills with an amazing tactic and strategy.
Yep, as we see at the top of your screen over there, FIV Rock is going to close up on the finish line. Then let's switch to Dudang, Beban Viper, and Johannes for that 2nd place.
Yeah.
I think Beban and Dudang were going slightly faster than Johannes, but Johannes had a bigger lead. He's going to take 2nd, Beban in 3rd, Dudang in 4th. The Green Iron, we haven't seen him much this final yet. crosses in the top 10 as well as the rest of the fleet. We're going to get a lot of boats arriving more or less at the same time around this pin end. Some of them arriving above there. That's the case for V2R, Sienna, and Yoko. Charizard in 35th. Sorry, 34th with Tim Janik in 35th. And that is the final ranking. The top 20 being for this race, number 4, FIV Rock in first, 5-second lead on to second, Johannes Bansen. Levan Vita in third, Dudang 972 in fourth, Green 9 in fifth, Mendes RS in sixth, CNS Luisito 1948 7, Deep Story in 8, Julie Fry 9 to Taxi in 10, Breast Power in 11, Searching in 12, Varian 13, Carlos in 14, Krug in 15, Kevin Fines in 16, Stefan Gazan 17, 18 for Jer 7, Yuko in 19, BSB Almir 44 in 20, with RX0 Unicorn in 21st, less than a second behind him. This last race in the qualifier series, let's call it that way, before we head over to the Gold Series. So again, it's going to be the top 20 at the end of this race and the overall leaderboard. We're going to get their place in the Gold Series, and in the Gold Series, going to be 3 more races, no discards, no medal race, just straight up racing. And well, the top 3 at the end of the Gold Series will go to the semifinal, with the top 4th to 10th heading over to the playoffs, as the start procedure has been given for race number 5 in the Far East. What can we say about this boat?
This boat is one of the has a similar load up of the J70, so really well balanced, really nice boat. Is slightly wider, that's allowed to more penalty to be given. Has some characteristic that divide him from the J70 and make it really fun to have it in there, because a lot of things change just because of small characteristics are different from the J70s, and that means that they're not the same boats, but they're really similar, and they're both really fun.
Thank you for the description. 15 seconds to go. Boats are starting to get closer to the start line. Fairly
it's
evenly
really
spread.
weird to see. Yeah, exactly. It's really weird to see how evenly spread they are. Only J70 and Ferris 28 have this kind of evenly spread around. And it's really nice not seeing everybody fighting for that small pixel of water that allow you to have a greater start. SV Gaia trying to cross over the fleet, he can cross in front of Cavan Fiance. Also, Keating can do that. All the boats on the left hand side have a major advantage. There is a massive left wing shift at the moment, and I believe now that Acosta is there for a comeback.
Yeah, we're waiting for the comeback from Nozet. He barely made it in the top 20, currently 20th with 81 points, 1 point behind 19th Flying Boss. But with 81 points, the 10th in the overall ranking has 52 points, so there's a 30 point difference between the two of them. And I don't want to jinx it, but I see
but Brigitte is going to win, yeah.
No, I was going to say, yes, well, maybe. But I see an English flag in the fleet.
Oh, yeah.
Former world champion Farley, who had some connections issues in the first races. Unfortunately, I do not think that's gonna, even arriving first is not gonna put him in the top 20. But nice to see him that he did manage to join at least for one race.
Yep.
Let's focus a bit more on this pack of boats on the right side of the fleet. Jer 7 above Yoko over here.
And now it's trouble here in paradise with the 3 Spanish boats really close up for the reaching on the first mark. Massive right wing shift coming with Doding and Dimstry on the right hand side. That if the puff is just coming quicker enough so Dimsry can reach the ley line without the other one being a pain for him. But actually, he wants to do the safer part. The Deng do the same. And now
They're
that
giving each other space. Nozet decides to go behind.
yeah, he doesn't want to mix up in the fleet. He knows that he already lost so many points. So
As
and
Josuts
to
maintains
Taxi,
his lead. Sorry, Tutexi is fifth tacking, finishing his tack right now, and I think Luisito is going to be the first one to round the mark, followed by Josuts, Dudang in fourth.
yeah, but look at
Ophelia in third.
Juzux again. Again, Luisito with some trouble with the kite. Juzuk 10 knots, Luisito 9 knots is catching up. Is going much faster.
And he's going to be in
Let's
the wind
see if
shadow.
there is a penalty here. Yeah, definitely Juzuk wants to get that position. Interesting choice from Dodeng that is going from the other side, and he actually have much more wind. Almost 1 knot faster, half knot faster, definitely.
It's now going to be slowed down by the wind shadows and decides to steer up a bit. Before
Yeah, I believe the
down.
Deng also have a connection issue.
That's going to allow Nozets to get into fifth.
Yep. And maybe even fourth.
Maybe even fourth. Currently 80 meters difference with Luisito in first.
SV guy in
decides
six.
To follow Luisito. Deemstery as well. Knows that's going to be alone on his mark over there.
Massive right wing shift is coming. And as you can see, FIV Rock was a little bit troubled to choose the side to go there. Deemstery at the moment going on the right hand side. SV Gaia following him. FIV Rock going through, but without covering SV Gaia.
SV Gaia actually going slightly faster for a second over there. I've seen a 7 knot. Both going at 6.7 knots. And Luisito as well above them.
This is interesting because at the moment there is a right wing shift. It seems a small left wing shift is coming.
Let's have a broader look. At the mini map. Not much like strength difference in terms of wind, of upcoming wind.
FIV Rock do not want any enemy. He didn't try to tuck in front of SV Gaia. Another right wing shift coming after that. Look at the cross with him and Taxi. And Taxi Libao on FIV Rock. Slam Dunk on SV Gaia. Forcing one to tuck, and FIV Rock is actually keeping steady course because the right wing shift will be massive.
Well, Luisito maintains his lead. He's going to be rounding this mark over here. Josuts might be able to take second, as Deepster is going to have to attack behind him.
It's a really interesting last downwind here, because I believe a lot of people want to cover each other. But actually there is a puff coming down. One on the right hand side, one on the left hand side. And is actually who is going to get that one is the most important thing.
Well, right now it's a straight line for the top 4 over here. No one really covering each other. Nozet might be covered slightly by Totexi and FIV Rock behind him.
Yeah, SV Gaia tried to attack over there. Dangerous position for FIV Rock over there.
Gonna try to push Totexi away, but takes the penalty himself.
Yeah. He was trying to defend from SV Gaia. And look at Charizard coming back over there. The other Italian, Stefano. So, Luisito, another victory here. Josuk, second position. Dimstri in third. Then Nauzet Acosta, Totexi, SV Gaia, FIV Rock, Charizard, and Zemendes. These are the top 9.
Indeed, let's focus at the back of the fleet. A lot of boats coming more or less at the same time over here. Some lot of movements as well. People trying to cover each other, trying to find the space to get in front. Keating being pushed away by Julifra, who's trying to gain a few places over here. Not sure that helped him out entirely. It did put him a couple of places ahead. And we see like 3 or 4 boats arriving at the same time over here. With Baban Viper and BSB Almir closing the march. Almir trying to slow Baban Viper down by putting his wind shadow of him. Putting 0.7 knots slower, more or less, 0.5, 0.6. But Baban Viper is going to arrive just before. Final ranking for race number 5. We're going to tally up the scores. We're going to be giving out the roles to the top 20. No protests so far, so it should be
don't jinx it.
I'm not jinxing it. I think some would. But at the end of this race, Luisito maintains his first position almost throughout the whole race. Josut's second position almost throughout the whole race. Dimstari in third. Nozet in 4th, Totexi in 5th, SVK in 6th, FIV Rock in 7th, Charizard in 8th, Semendes, RS in 9th, Jer 7 in 10th, 11 for Dudang, 12 for Foiled 1, 13 for Breast Power, 14 for Stefan Gazan, Crew takes 15th, Harley takes 16th, Yuko takes 17th, 18 for Vari, 19 for Vegas, 20 for Oliver, and 21st for VTR Sienna. What was the time difference between VTR and Oliver? They arrived during the same 10th of a second.
Amazing.
And we're back. Just 2 minutes before the next race starts is going to be in the star with the top 20 that you see on your screen currently. CNS Luis with 29 points is our first. SV Gaia second with 43 points, 50 points for Zemendes. Fourth goes to Rocco Guerra with 51 points, 54 points for Josu in 5th. 6th in Yuko with 55 points, 56 points for Breast Power in 7th. 8th goes to Veri with 66 points, 68 points for Totexi in 9th. 79 points for Judify in 10th, 81 points for Lostrio in 11th. And we have a tie between Deemstery and Cabin Fines for 12th and 13th. 83 points for Foiled in 14th. ESG Johannes Bansen is 15th with 85 points, tied with Nozet Acosta in 16th. Carlos Parejo 87 points in 17th. Stefan Gazan 95 points in 18th, Charizard 96 points in 19th, and Krug 99 points in 20th. I'm quickly going to explain how the tie break works because we have several ties. In case of tie, you're going to line up all the races from the players from best to worst, and at the first point difference, you're going to give the advantage to the one with the best score. What can we say about this top 20, Alberto?
Okay, so 4 Spanish, 3 French, 3 Italians. This is already half of the fleet. So really, I'm really happy to see SV Gaia as one of the newest player, not in the game, but in this semifinals, performing that well. We have a lot of really, really strong sailor here, and there is like few points between for the third position between Zemendes and I believe until burst power, that one will be already mixed up in race number 6. So
But start procedure has been given with the star. Louis, 1948, 29 points. First has a decent lead on the second. SV Gaia with 43 points. Himself having a okay lead on the third, being Zemendes. Zemendes is the one with the most risks over here. 50 points. There's just a 6-point difference between him and 7th burst power.
that would be an interesting boat race because this one is similar to the Ilka, but as all the boats are different, and as the wind shadow is directly from behind, this one will allow you to be less agile than a laser, so this will change a little bit more. And I would say 2 starts out, 1 for Kavan, 1 for Krug, while Johannes Bansen in the lead, 2nd position for Zemendes. Then Trap Breast Power. At the moment there is a battle between Nazet Acosta, Rocco Guerra and SV Gaia. FIV Rock, Rocco Guerra. With a lot of people laughing at trying to get the few meters that are necessary for trying to take the lead in this race. I believe at the moment, though, foiled one with a massive right wing shift that is coming down. Do you think he will gain on all the fleet? Coming back, maybe not in the lead, but in a nice position.
Who were you talking about?
Foiled all the way to the right.
Foiled all the way to the right. I don't know. He's on... Well, the shift is going to benefit him, but he also has less wind. But with the star, I'm not sure that's much of a big deal in the wind for the upwind, so I think having the shift is more important, so that might actually be good for him.
Yeah, I agree with that, but the problem is there's another left wing shift coming. So if he stays like this, I believe foiled will be not maybe easy, but definitely in the top part of the fleet. But if the left wing shift is coming back, Johannes Bansen, Zemendes, and that group over there is going to gain a lot. So let's see what's going to happen in the next few seconds while they're reaching the lane 9 over there.
The ranking says that foiled is currently losing some spots, dropped down to 8th, 7th now, and Stefan Gazan is the one leading at first over there on the left. But foiled was going slightly faster.
That's interesting. And Lucas Stefaganzen at the moment has a problem with both Parejo. Even FIV Rock at the moment need to duck down, find this position, do not get a penalty from Zemendes.
That was very close.
It was insanely close. A few penalty here foiled, as you can see, was round 4th. So definitely one situation that pay off a little bit.
Fortunately for foiled, he took the penalty as he was rounding the mark. And Carlos takes first spot. As I see Sarah in the chat saying that he was betting on Carlos. And Schleicher showing his support for SV Gaia, who is performing extremely well tonight.
Yeah.
Pure7, hi, nice to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well.
high to be. At the moment, a lot of the boats one went to the right-hand side, like FIV Rock and SV Gaia. Also Luisito over there. Because they want to get in that path, we don't want to be covered and stuff like that. The problem is they need to luff up, and this boat do not accelerate. So as you can see, trap breath power going 8 knots, the Mendes going 7.6, like FIV Rock that is being covered. So, tricky situation right now for the leaders, with Carlos Parejo going just slightly faster than everybody else, and with the fleet on the right hand side that try to catch a little bit of the places over there. Zemenes forcing a little bit the hand on FIV Rock. There'll be a mess leg over here, with Zemendes losing the position over Johannes Bansen. FIV Rock was definitely not overlapped over Luisito and getting a penalty. Strange move here from the Portuguese here, that to keep one position he lost two. What do you think?
Sorry, I was dealing with some stuff in the background.
No worries. At the
Repeat
moment,
question?
Carlos Parejo. No worries. At the moment, Carlos Parejo in the lead. Second position for Stefan Gazan, and third for Johannes Bansen. Fourth for Foil, but at the moment he's a little bit covered, so it's a bad situation for him. And with the right wing shift coming right up, I believe it'll be an interesting another mix-up here for the leader of this race, with the foiled catching up on few position, Carlos attacking in front of Stefan Gazan, a Libao well executed. That is going to cost for the French player 2 more tacks for reaching the mark. And foil at the moment in 4th/5th position, trying to stay close to the group. FIV Rock at the moment all the way to the left, fighting with SV Gaia, not performing really well with the starboat. Let's see what's going to happen now. Reaching the mark, first position for Carlos Parejo, second position for Johannes Bansen, third position for the French Stefan Gazan. Zemendes forcing Luisito on FIV Rock, but all three of them will be reaching the mark on a port side. FIV Rock pushing a little bit more. Let's see if he can find a position, but no. Penalty for him, a penalty for Yuko, Luisito, Cavanfiance, and Julie Fra. Even with this maneuver, he can keep the position and actually gain a couple, with Luisito trying to give him a penalty to stay away from breast power. At the moment, in the front of the fleet, the three Parejo, Bansen, and Gazan are performing really, really well. In the middle of the fleet, a lot of people covering each other, while in the back, FIV Rock, SV Gaia, and Trap Breast Power are fighting for the 10th position. Tricky situation here. Foiled going 7.5 in the middle, in the left hand side. Yuko 7.7, 7.8, while FIV Rock flying at 9 knots. Another situation of a big puff on one hand side. Nobody recognizing it. Trap Power and FIV Rock trying to gain as much as they could. While Luisito at the moment is losing a lot of position and Calvin Fine the same. With now that tried to cover Hesvigai that tried to cover Trap Power. Let's see what is going to happen now. FIV Rock crossing all over them. So at the moment, Janus Bansen, Carlos Parejo, and Stefan Gazen in 3rd position. 4th position for Zemendes. 5th position for Yuko. 6th for Foiled. And then seems a nice comeback from FIV Rock. And that's a head-to-head with Luisito. And oh, their time in the same. Then Kevin Fai and Tutexi. And a big, massive part of the fleet fighting in the last few seconds of the race.
That last finish was quite interesting to see. But there you have. Thank you for the commentating of all that. Sorry, I was in the background dealing with some stuff. That's the ranking for the first race in the Goal Series. Johannes in 1st, Carlos in 2nd, Stefan in 3rd, Zemendes in 4th, Yuko in 5th, Foil in 6th, FIV Rock in 7th, Luisito in 8th, Kevin in 9th, 10th for Tutexi. Again, we're going to be focusing mostly on the top 10 because these are the ones who will be qualifying somewhere. Just want to check the time difference between these boats arriving at the end and that V shape. We have, how many is that?
Look
1,
at
2,
Kruger
3, 4,
Trapper's
5,
power
6,
and
7. I think it's 7 of them arriving during the same second.
there's like now that the Yuzuk, Krug, Breast Power, Svigai and Charizard arriving in 0.4 decimal of a second. Skills are similar to the Nacro 17 that you have the possibility to laugh a little bit more, gain a little bit more just laughing a little bit and reaching the mark. Not so from the ley line, but I believe everybody wants to start on race committee. Who is doing the best start is going to win the race, I believe. And we will probably see a lot of interesting things happening here, like SV Gaia tried to find his position. As you can see, he's trying to sneak out from Zemendes and Teamstry.
Because the
FIV Rock coming from the back.
Skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so people can.
FIV Rock that is the Italian with the skull is coming from the back, trying to find a spot that he can try to fill with foil, though trying to laughing up away. Now that also trying to laugh up, everybody is laughing really strongly in nearby the race committee. 3 seconds to go. Really tough start. And I believe was an impressive start from Charizard all the way to the right. Penalty for foil here. Definitely the place you want to be is on the left hand side. There's a massive left wing shift coming. The question is, can you cross? Because the boat is really long. The bowsprit is do not allowing you to cross a lot. So I believe now that FIV Rock and all the way to the right Jozuk are in a controlling situation, and then we will see when they're going to attack, because that will be the question. I believe that we'll see a lot of attack now here.
Yeah. No, we can't see the chat as spectators, but
you see SV Guy attacking and Carlos Parejo keeping the position over there. Do not want to attack. To Taxi go for another attack. And FIV Rock actually, he wants to reach the mark on starboard. So he has the right of way on the mark and not before that. Really interesting situation over there. with at the
a
moment
tight call
now
over
that
here at the mark. They're
Yeah.
all arriving more or less at the same time, so there's going to be some overlaps. There's going to be some people attacking in the mark zone. There's going to be some people arriving on starboard. It's going to be messy.
It's going to be. FIV Rock get the second position after just now that I told you they were in control over there. I believe FIV Rock needs to put himself in a queue. Do not try to fight it for the first one. Need to defend from Luisito and Carlos that are behind, and just try to keep the top 3 position. SV Gaia also in 5th position makes this race even more interesting.
Yeah, and well, Lewis in 3rd as well, so he's gonna likely keep his first place. Luis is actually in a very good position, 37 points overall. That's a 13, 17 point lead on the second.
Yeah. So definitely.
And arriving 3rd in this race means that he can more or less screw the last race, and he's almost certain to be in. Watch me jinx that.
Yeah, because you can still screw this one.
But then it's going to be between Zemendes, Rocco, Esvigaya, Yuko mainly for that 2nd and 3rd spot. And Harder saying too easy this final. Sorry, I saw the message late. Is Harder in already?
Sorry?
Harder.
Yeah,
is
Harder is in already. Yeah.
Okay. So we can allow him saying that. But Nozet keeps his lead. FIV Rock still in 2nd.
But there is a massive left wing shift, you see?
Yeah.
Now FIV Rock is going 1 knot faster than Nozet because he has to bear away. Now Nozet is bear away too.
Nozet, I think, is too much in front for FIV Rock to overtake. In this section, I mean, he might be able to overtake in the downwind again, but that definitely got him closer to Nozet.
You know, it's always risky to attack in this kind of situation because if you lose for 1 point, next race.
Well, Nozet is at 96 points, 13th overall, and Rock is at 58 points, tied with Gaia for 3rd and 4th.
Yeah. It seems now that he's actually in the wind while FIV Rock is is catching right now. Sorry, please keep going.
No, sorry, I don't even remember what I was going to try to say. But I'm kind of looking at the overall scores with the players concerned. This is going to be very good for Rock, who is, where's Zemendes?
Yeah, he's in 15th at the moment.
Zemendes is far, yeah.
He's fighting against Charizard, Johannes Bansen, and is just in front of Dimstrange Julifra. So well done to Nozet Acosta getting the victory here. So probably catching up a spot for the playoffs. Do not remember if I already have one. FIV Rock in 2nd position, Luisito in 3rd, Carlos Parejo in 4th. But there is the fleet from Trapras Power and on the other side that is coming down really fast with Stefan Gazen, Trapras Power and SV Gaia. SV Gaia keeping the 7th position, I believe, with the Zemendes so far behind. This one will allow SV Gaia to stay in the top 3. And the Mendes at the moment in 12th position. Look at arrive over there with Jozuk, Cavan Fiance, Krug, Charizard, Los Trio, Yuko, The Mendes 15th, Dimstry 16th, Jonas Bannes 17th, Julifra 18th and 19th for foiled.
And there we have the ranking for race number 2 in the Gold Series. This is going to be the before last race, and we're going to be heading into the last race of the night in the F50. But before that, ranking for race number 2 in the Gold Series. Nozet first, Rock second, Luisito third, Carlos fourth, Press Power fifth, Stefan Gazan sixth, SVGaya seventh, Totexi in eighth, Josuts in ninth, Cavan in 10th, with Krug in 11th. And the scoreboard has been updated already, so we will be looking at that. Final race is going to be starting at 50.
Nice. The interesting numbers we can see is at the moment Luis is mathematically in, because even with 20 points is still first. Impressive race from Luisito. After that, nobody's safe and nobody's out up until I believe Yozuk, mathematically Yozuk, for the top 3 position. It's really a tough race, as Zemendes 70, Yuko 74, 75 for Best Power and 76 for Yozuk. That would be tough. Yep. Mathematically out from the semi-final from Totexi and over. So we will check for the playoff for them. And
playoff is up until the top 10, so 97 points for Nozets. So we have Cavan, who's not far behind, Johannes not far behind, Stefan Gazan not far behind. Foiled One isn't that far behind as well, Los Trio either. I think Julifra is starting to get a bit risky over there. And for Krug, I think is out.
Yeah, but Krug, for example, is already qualified to the semifinals, so to the playoff. And
yeah,
like
we're giving
the Mendes now that
we're giving you the top 10 without looking at. Well, I am without looking those who are already qualified. So the top 10 from here might be the different ones that you'll see in the news and game later, because depending on who already qualified or not, the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th might be the one qualifying.
Let's see what's the start it will give us. This is the last race for tonight for the KO5. And do you want to introduce the boat?
The F50, used in the Sail GP competition. One of the faster boats in the world in terms of sailing. I think only rivalized with the AC-75 from the America's Cup. And it is a foiling catamaran. We can reach speeds of over 100 kilometers per hour in real life. In terms of miles,
even in the game,
even in the games, yeah. In terms of knots, I think that's around like 50, 50-ish knots, something like that.
8 seconds to the start. Seems FIV Rock is kind of early. 3, 2, 1. Really, a lot of people out. Yep.
Pulling the trigger.
And
a bit
one
too
of
early.
them. One of them is SVGaya.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. But Julifra is going to be the one taking the lead in this first mark rounding, followed closely by Charizard, Stefan Gazan, and Josuts. Julifra currently 16th overall with 115 points. And I'm going to say it's not over till it's over for Gaia. Just barely
absolutely.
The mark over here. He needs to be 5 places above the Mendes, or behind the Mendes.
Behind the Mendes.
and 9 places behind Yuko. So for
He
Yuko,
already
for
caught
now,
up
it's
on
fine.
on breast power, so
Yeah. Yuko is going to be fine. For Zemendes, he is 8th currently. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Charizard took the lead from Julifra, looks like it. And they are neck and neck over here. Watch out for not touching the boat. You don't want to put any penalties with the F50 because a 10-second slowdown with the boat that fast is
it's massive.
really bad.
At the moment, I see FIV Rock in a little bit of a pickle here with the Juzuk and Julifra penalty here. I have to say, Zemendes in 6th position is an impressive result for him.
Yep. He's going to want that. Rock is in the top 3. Luis, we said, is in no matter what.
Yeah.
So he needs to be careful with Zemendes and Yuko or Breast Power, but at this position right now, Yuko and Breast Power not a threat.
Yep.
And Gaia is currently 18th, so that's quite far behind.
It's a really interesting race here with Charizard in the lead. And I believe this one will be the possibility for Charizard to qualify. He was really close in KO2, but he didn't manage for 1 position. So probably this one will be his opportunity to qualify for the playoff.
Yes, because overall he is 20th with 125 points. So he made it in the Gold Series, and he does need his spot for the playoffs. Rosut's still in 2nd behind him. FIV Rock in 4th. Where did Judy flies in 3rd.
FIV Rock really close with the Zemendes on his stacks. Really pushing a lot. But look here, impressive race from Johannes Bansen. Jumping in the 4th position like that.
Exactly, this is the
Really
last
well
downwind with the last reaching finish. And the F50 Charizard is still leading. Josutz is still right behind him. Julifra in 3rd. And Johannes is going to take 4th, and it's going to be close between FIV Rock and Zemendes. And Zemendes manages to sneak in, with FIV Rock trying to push him away, but looks like Zemendes is going to be able to take 5th from FIV Rock.
Yeah. Even that 1 position, he's 10 points behind. So there was no threat for FIV Rock. Just a little bit of the honor losing the position over Zemendes. But I believe a congratulations for both of them.
Yep, well, we'll
they
have
were really close before.
I think we have it. Yeah, it's going to be Lewis, Rock, and Zemendes, our top 3. We're going to have the confirmation of the score in just a second. But for this race, final ranking is going to be Charizard in 1st, Josutz in 2nd, Julifra in 3rd, Johannes in 4th, Zemendes in 5th, FIV Rock in 6th, Krug in 7, Yuko in 8, Lostrio in 9, Carlos at 10, 11 for Luisito 1948, Team Siri in 12, 13 for Totexi, 14th for Fold 1, Noza da Costa in 15, Stefan Gazan 16, 17th for Kevin Fines, SV Guy in 18th, unfortunately, and Breast Power in 19th. As soon as the score is updated, we're going to be looking at them, and we're going to be able to tell you who is the top 3 heading into the semifinal, and the temporary top 10 who will be heading into the playoffs. until we compare it with those who are already qualified or not. Scores have been updated. And before we dive into the scores, I also want to quickly shout out again those who are working behind the scenes: Giovanni as principal race officer, Lorenzo for the scores, the Guler helping with recording the scores, and it's going to be in the protest committee, Hardolo and Pimpy, keeping an eye on any protests that could have been posted. But the night, I'm going to guess, is now finished. I'll give you the honor of explaining and going through the ranking, Alberto.
Okay, so congratulations to Luisito for the victory here, and going to the semi-final with Rocco Guerra and Zemendes. I believe at the moment on the qualified one we have already an Italian that is Lorenzo, but I believe he is the first Spanish and the first Portuguese. Yeah, because I don't think Chico is already qualified.
No, I think you're correct.
Congratulations for being both the first of their nation to qualify for the semi-final. Really a close call for Jozuk, that only 3 points behind the podium, and Fane Yuko also impressive results. PT the races with Nacra and Forest 28. We are really sorry, but we're really happy to see SV Gaia doing an amazing races during the big fleet, and a couple of mishaps during Stars and F50. And in 7th position we have Breast Power, 8th position Totexi, 9th position for the former world champion Carlos Parejo, and in 10th position the first German Johannes Bunsen.
Thank you very much for that, Alberto. Again, congratulations to the top 3 getting into the semifinals. We will give you the updated ranking for those qualified from this final into the playoffs and the endgame news in just a couple of days, when the stream has been published on YouTube as well, the replay of this final. I guess it's time for us to call it a night. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Alberto, for commentating with me. Thank you for those in the behind of the scenes, working to help make this final happen. Giovanni as principal race officer, Lorenzo for the score, Guler, Omer to record the scores, and Hardolo and Pimpy as the protest committee. This has been Oscar, your host, and we'll catch you all for Qualifier 6 in just 1 day and 14 hours before the start. Is going to be your last chance to qualify for a knockout and get your place for the playoffs or the semifinals.
Have a good night, everyone.